you really believe in momentum investing, which is pretty awesome, because that's how for the first 20 years of my career, I was all momentum. I was read the new high list, track it, and that's where I got a lot of my ideas from. I think, Paul, that's where you're doing a lot of your idea generation comes from that new high list too. Is that still the crux of what you do with momentum? Is that a big part of what you do? Have you kind of evolved from that at all, or is that just too good? Is there any reason to go
Yeah.
outside that?
Yeah, you know what? So that's really it's a point that I use very significantly, or I did early on, because of what I learned. There was a book that really changed the way I built my strategy, called "How to Make Money in Stocks" by William O'Neill. I'm sure a lot of people know that, but it really flipped on its ear, sort of how I went about looking for companies. And one of the key criteria is you want to see a company that's trading or breaking out into a new 52-week high. So that's always resonated with me. The challenge, though, a lot of times is that is being driven by some event or some, an accumulation of events. And I think in the microcap space, I think we've gotten big enough as a network to become that accumulation ourselves, right? So we're trying to find fundamentally sound companies that that aren't necessarily hitting 52-week highs, but there's a good chance that if things work, we're the driver of that, right? So, so as far as momentum, yeah, we love momentum, but what we really love is that we love it when we start the momentum. And we're called small cap discoveries, and the reason why it was called discoveries is because we think there's a real interesting dynamic in the microcap space where you see a lot of these companies, they're doing great business and they're just plodding along very sort of quietly, and no reaction to share price, and all of a sudden something happens. The stock either jumps on the back of a quarterly statement, or maybe a newsletter covers it, or they're interviewed on TV or something. But that starts the discovery process, right? So all of a sudden the stock might hit a new 52-week high, but then I've seen it, right? The momentum that starts and continues from that could be years and years and years on end, right? And I know of one company that I can go back 5 or 6 years, and I know the discovery process started and the stock's up 100, 120 times from that original discovery process. Mm-hmm. So that's the beauty of 52-week highs, is especially if you're a smaller retail investor and you're looking for that, you can be nimble enough to play around that. But if you've got a large amount of capital to work with, it's a lot harder to only look for 52-week highs, right? You got to look for fundamentals that justify it.